Kia ora, good morning. I just want to record this dream I had. I've been awake for a little bit. I'm just having my coffee. It's gone warm, so I'm gonna. I hate warm coffee. I'd either prefer to drink it cold or hot, but not warm. But yeah. So I'm drinking my coffee. Cause like it was a very quick dream, but even when I was having the dream, I remember thinking, "Well, this is weird." Um. So I dreamt I was in a country that wasn't my own. It wasn't a country that I'm able to identify. Um, oh, sorry, I had my hair cut the other day, and because the seasons are changing, I'm molting, and my hair's getting all in my face. So yeah, I had a dream I was in a country that wasn't my own. I can't identify it, but if I had to try, I would say it was somewhere like Greece or Turkey, or I don't know. It had vibes of like Queensland, Australia, but it definitely wasn't Australia because I didn't recognise the ambulances and police cars and stuff. I was definitely somewhere that was like Mediterranean-y, I think, but don't quote me on it. And I was at the top, I was like in a hotel, and I had my boys with me, and for some reason we were on top of the roof of this hotel, and which would never happen in real life because I don't do heights. I'm not the sort of person that would book a penthouse suite in a hotel, because I would never leave the centre of the room. I wouldn't go anywhere near the windows or anything like that. So, but anyway, it's not about that. But we were standing on the roof, but we were happy and we were at peace, and we were just chill. You know, when you go on holiday and you're all relaxed and you're having a great time and you're excited to see what you're going to see and all the sightseeing and the food and that, that content kind of buzz you get. There was just that real content. It's like my battle was over, we had justice, I had my money, and we were travelling about making shows. And I know it must be about making my shows because of what happened later on, which I'll go into. I know I'm rambling, but this one's kind of confusing. I can interpret what each part of the dream means, but I think this dream might be something more prophetic. Like I'm being told to pay attention because of the fact that we were on top of the roof of this hotel, which means in between the old and the new. And my son goes, "Ma, look." And I looked and I could see these ambulances and cop cars barreling down the road heading to somewhere that was just in front of the hotel. And my younger son goes, "Uh-oh." And the next thing I know, we're down where the ambulances and stuff are, and I'm with this man who's on the ground that they're trying to help, but I don't know what they were doing because all I remember was from my perspective. He was on the ground, and I was kind of like holding his head and trying to offer him support and all of that, but I was kind of like, oh well, there, yeah, oh, kind of like I was concerned and I was involved, but I was too distracted by the building that was behind me, and it was like this ancient I don't know if it was like some sort of cathedral or church, or I don't know, but it was this beautiful, like, ruins of this building that was clearly some sort of historical monument, or marking, and it was, so, yeah, and, it was ancient, it was really, really, really old, maybe even older than even, like, monasteries or churches, or, like religious buildings that I've even seen here in the UK. Like, it felt really old, and it was kind of in ruins in that. But the reason why I couldn't take my eyes off it is because there was this, I don't know what it was, a plaque, a window, a wall, I don't know what it was, I really don't know what it was. That's why I couldn't take my eyes off it, because it seemed out of place, that there was this ruin with the most beautiful, pristine, it looked like tiling or mosaic of dark blue that had like white artwork on it that was just so breathtaking and beautiful. It just seemed out of place that this building was in ruin, but by some miracle this blue mosaic tile wall tiling thing had managed to survive. And I couldn't take my eyes off it, and all I kept thinking was, I need to investigate that. Everything was telling me I needed to turn that into a show. I needed to go there and I needed to investigate it, because something incredible, something miraculous, or something unbelievable was going to happen when I went to investigate it. And while I was supposed to be tending to this man, I just couldn't take my eyes off this building that I was being told, you need to go here. But the weird thing is that the building was behind a wall, and it was almost like where this building was behind the wall was in a completely different country to where I was standing. Like, all I had to do was step through the wall, or step through the archway or doorway of this wall, and I was in a completely different country where I was going to experience something supernaturally amazing on camera or for my show. And it was like, that's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to be helping the first responders in there. I was just, it's almost like God was saying, come here, not there. Be here, not there. Follow me, come here. And I couldn't stop it. So me and the boys, we just started heading towards the building. And when I got through the gate and I saw what this building was, I was just like, even my boys were like, whoa. And I heard my youngest say, this is awesome. And there was just like this, and I felt it in my chest, like this, just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing this. I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe this is actually happening. And then I woke up. I don't know what it was that made me go, or that made my boy go, this is awesome. But it was like a dream come true, sort of like I can't believe I'm actually standing here looking at what I'm looking at, like finally, or not even like finally, it was like, what miracle is this? And even my boys knew that what we were witnessing was like some sort of miracle. But it wasn't all we did was looked at this building, and we could see the full extent of this blue tiling mosaic thing, and it was just, oh man, it's, I can't even explain it really. I know I'm not making any sense, but it was like we'd stepped into a different timeline, stepped into a different country, just walking through the doorway of this wall. We'd stepped into something completely new, but it was something that we never dreamed in a million years we would ever be experiencing or ever get to witness, and yet here we were standing right there looking at it. And I don't know what it was. In the dream we knew what it was, but in real life I couldn't say, oh, it's because the Virgin Mary came down, or we saw Jesus, or like it wasn't. It was to do with this building. It's like the building that we were looking at was confirmation that God had bestowed a miracle upon us, that God had granted us a wish, that God had, for example, I'm just going to give you an example. That's how I would feel if I was looking at the Kremlin. For some reason, my whole life, I have been fascinated with the Kremlin and its architecture, and I had always been determined to, I don't look up about it, I don't read about it, I don't do any of that stuff, because it's one of those things that I have always said to myself, I need to be there to experience it, because I don't think anyone writing about it is going to be able to do how looking at that building is going to make me feel, is going to do it any justice. No words describing the Kremlin or the history of it is going to be able to do me standing there looking at it, especially now that, I can do what I do, now that I'm a master of quantum magnetics, and that no written experience or no teacher or historian is going to be able to give me that feeling of what I'm going to experience if I ever get to actually stand there and look at it. Looking at the Kremlin would absolutely be the sort of thing that if my three boys, why did I say three boys? I was supposed to say the three of us, or me and my two boys, and I said my three boys. Anyway, if we were standing the first time we laid eyes on it, I absolutely 100% believe that we'd be like, like that. But of course, the Kremlin isn't a derelict old church with like blue tiling and all of that. It felt like Greece or Turkey, and then we stepped through the gates and we were through this portal, and we were in a completely different country. I can't even explain it. But it was like everything changed in that moment. The second we locked eyes on that building, I had the exact same feeling when I first saw Edinburgh Castle. When I stepped round the corner and I saw Edinburgh Castle for the first time, I will never, in the 25 years that I've been here, I will never, ever, ever forget that experience. It changed my life forever. Edinburgh is one of my favourite places in the whole world, and I will never forget when I saw Edinburgh Castle for the first time. But whatever it was, this building was that we were looking at, it was like all crumbling and all derelict, and it was like I don't know if it was a World Heritage Site, but it seemed like it was, a place that was, because it was like in the middle, like with Rome, how you've got like modern buildings and then ancient ruins and all of that. It was like that. It was like a ruin in a modern city, but that was in a completely different country on the other side of its protective wall. And it was all like it didn't have a roof. It was all just like, like stone wall, and it was all crumbled and derelict in there, obviously from some sort of religious war or battle or something like that. I know that because of you know, what I've experienced when I've gone to National Trust places here. But when we looked at it and actually saw this dark blue tiling mosaic thing, and we saw, you know, the white, we saw the actual art of what was on this wall, it was like it transported us into some sort of heavenly, divine, religious experience that even my boys couldn't deny. I don't know why, but I'm wondering whether it was, you know, when you see like ancient Greek pottery and stuff, and you've got like you know, like the Olympics and that, how you'll see on the pottery, and there's like the naked man, and he's got like the disc and um all of that sort of thing. It kind of gave me the impression that it was going to be like that, but I keep thinking like it was to do with constellations. It was something supernatural. It was something mind blowing. It was something that confirmed that the conscious universe is real, that God is real, that this miracle is real, and it was written on the side of this wall in this as this mosaic, as this blue tiled mosaic. And it was like, it was big, but I think it was detached from the actual building. It's like it had been saved, and after the turmoil or the war or whatever, it had been, you know, when there's wars and conflicts, a lot of these people will go, you know, like with the Iraq war and that, they'll go and they'll take all their art from their museums and that, and they go and hide them. It may have been something like that, because I know that the blue plaque thing, the blue mosaic thing, was at one point in the building or part of the building, but it had been saved and was now on display outside of the building. Um, like they were saying, this mosaic was was on this wall, but obviously the wall wasn't there anymore because it was crumbled in ruins. But they'd saved the mosaic and then put it back up to show where it would have been. Do you know what I mean? I know I'm probably not making any sense, but I just know that the bit that I saw, the white bit that I saw when I was standing on the other side of the wall, it seemed like it was part of a constellation or the solar system or a galaxy or the Milky Way or something, because the bit of the white that I saw, it was like, how can I explain it? Good Lord. Like a nebula. Or the movement of cluster of stars or something, but in movement. That's that's the only way I can describe it. Except now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I need to see it. I need to go there. Wherever it is, I need to find it. I need to find it. I think wherever this building is, I'm going to have a profound experience, and I need to find it. I need to know where it is, and I'm going to find it. And when I find it, it's going to be confirmation that God and the universe are one. It's the only way I can describe it. And I'm going to catch something on camera that's going to change everything for people and myself and my boys. And yeah, it's the only way I can describe it. I had some sort of profound experience with Atom, with the conscious universe. It was calling me to this place that I have no clue where it is, but now all I know is that I need to find it, and when I do find it, my boys and I are going to have experienced some sort of miracle. Now, when I look back on the dream, obviously, like I said, hotels and motels are the in-between. When you're about to step out of the old and into the new. So, and because it was a country I didn't recognise, it's been put in a situation that is unfamiliar to me, to us, but that warranted my urgent attention, i.e. the ambulances and cop cars and that, and it's something to do with, it's almost like, because I was at the top of the highest building there, and I was looking down, but I had like eagle eye vision. I could see everything, like my eyes were like a telescope. So even though I was like high and should not have been able to see in great detail what I was looking at with this situation with the ambulances and cop cars and that, it's like I had eagle vision, and I could see everything like I was standing right there. And it's like, so the in-between, and it's almost like God and the universe, whatever, my ancestors in the dream were saying, like, look, pay attention, pay really close attention. We need to get your attention, because this is to do with the justice that you're about to receive. So we need you to focus and pay attention. And then, of course, as soon as we did, like help, it's like the ambulance, help is arriving, help is coming to help you get justice. The man on the ground, it may have been symbolic of my ex, like pretending, you know, I know, like, if cops and lawyers turned up right now with my boys and they were like, okay, you won your court case, you got justice, blah, 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 this is what we're going to do with Chris, and this is what's happening. It's like I didn't even care what they were telling me about what was happening to him. I didn't care. All I was focused on was getting out and experiencing a whole new world. Kind of like that. I don't know who the man was. I know he had dark hair, but I don't know, you know, in real life I didn't know who he was, because I didn't care. I wasn't paying attention to that. Even though I was like having to be present in the moment around the situation with the justice and, you know, the help arriving, and that the actual man on the ground, it's like I just didn't care. And so while they were trying to tend to him, and I should have been focused on them tending to him, all I was focused on was what I was being called to behind that wall. So I don't know, maybe you know, like if they said to me, okay, we've arrested him, we've arrested Chris, here's your boys, here's your money, you're going to need to contact his estate agent and, you know, pack up his stuff and blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, it's got nothing to do with me, I don't care. I'm taking my stuff, I'm taking my boys, I'm taking the money, and I'm out. Like that sort of thing. I would quite happily just walk away and leave his house unlocked. Like, it's got nothing to do with me. I don't care. It's got nothing to do with me. Like that sort of thing. He's my ex-husband. You know, it was like that. There was zero feelings, zero thought. I just didn't care. All I wanted to do was step through that door and see the new world on the other side, and find this. I have to find this building with this blue mosaic thing. That's all I keep thinking, because when my boys and I actually find this place, there's going to be some sort of profound experience. It reminds me very similar of the dream that I had that I documented with the Virgin Mary. trying to find that church, but that kind of profound sort of divine experience, but it had nothing to do with the Virgin Mary, or it had nothing, even though the building might have had something to do with religion in the dream, it was more that the mosaic was confirmation of my science and my connection to atom or something. That's the only way I can describe it. It's the only way I can describe it. Was confirmation of, like, you were bang on the money, you were spot on, like this connection you have with, you know, atom and the universe, like it 100% bang on the money, spot on the nose, on the money. And even the boys couldn't deny, like, oh my God, she was right, or oh my God, quantum magnetics, it is spot on, right. Like, mastered it, absolutely perfected it, mastered it. And it was written on this wall, almost like 10,000 years ago or thousands of years ago, these monks or priests or whoever had done this mosaic of me. like it was confirmation. That's what it was. Confirmation of the prophecy of me and quantum magnetics, like exactly how it's in the Bible. The Bible, there's parts of the Bible that 100% confirm quantum magnetics is real. It's like God knew in the bits of the Bible that were true, he knew I was coming. He knew quantum magnetics over 2,000 years ago was going to make a difference in the world in a way that can't be denied anymore. And that's going to be my justice. Being proven right, not just in the Bible, but in an ancient wall in a country I've never visited before, that knew that I was coming. Because obviously I'm the messenger and I'm here to prepare people for the arrival of the second coming. And it was written on this wall in this blue tiling. It's the it's not going to make sense until I find this ruin and this blue mosaic wall tiling art. I just know it's old. I know it's prophetic, and it's prophesizing thousands of years ago what I'm doing right now, what I'm creating right now, what we're experiencing right now. Obviously, because we're in the final days of judgment in that, and God is sweeping the earth, and the Illuminati are about to be destroyed, and a lot of them aren't even going to be alive by this time next year. The rest of them won't be free. They'll all be like being tried in international criminal courts and for things like genocide and crimes against humanity, and then they'll be executed, they'll be imprisoned, and this is all starting to happen now. It's all been, the fabric of time has been torn down and been rebuilt as something new, and this is what I'm here to do, to prepare people. I'm preparing their minds and their spiritual understanding for the timeline shift. Everything you thought to be true isn't true, because you were being fed lies, you were being fed propaganda for their own dark plans, which they've been trying to put in motion for, you know, a couple of thousand years now. They've been doing it for a while, and the Bible is proof of that, letting people think that it's absolutely, you know, was absolutely acceptable to worship the devil in that. And so I'm here to, like, prepare people for the new, so that it's not a shock to the system, I guess. And whatever was on this wall was confirmation that they knew that this message, or this science, quantum magnetics, was going to come and help save people's souls in that before the old world dies and the new one is born. It's like the new world is going to be born from ancient prophecy, which is, the ancient prophecy, which all Indigenous people know about. But obviously, wherever this country was, where this Mosaic was, they went in like First Nations Indigenous, but they knew the prophecy too. And it's not the prophecy, the prophecy specifically being quantum magnetics. And even my boys couldn't deny it. Like, oh my God, that's Mum on the wall, written in the constellations, with the gods and ancestors taking the people from the old world into the new, like that sort of thing. And it was like, I was literal artwork. I know I've appeared on cave paintings and that. I was showing cave paintings where I was prophesied, like in cave paintings from Portugal and all of that. And I know that I'm obviously in Egyptian hieroglyphs, and even like in Mexico and all that, and some of their temples and that, I'm prophesied there. But this was somewhere where I shouldn't have been prophesied, like I said, like Greece or Turkey or Russia, or somewhere like that. They knew I was coming thousands of years ago, because I'm helping close the door to the old and open the door for the new, but for everyone, like on a global scale. That's what it felt like. But yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. But with the ambulances and everything, I think I'm on the precipice now of finally getting ready to leave. I can't wait to find where this place is, if it exists at all. But my dreams are never wrong once I figure them out. So now I've got, so obviously it's almost like I've walked through an invisible door that's just opened me up to my future, and it is nothing short of miraculous and divine. So we shall wait and see. So I'm just recording it now. Right, I'm off to get my coffee and bring my boy's bin in. I've been taking his bins out for him. So I shall speak to you later. Have a beautiful, safe weekend. Don't drink and drive. And don't do anything I wouldn't do. Or at least don't get caught. That's what I used to say. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Or at least don't get caught. So I will speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.